Welcome back to LEGO Wars in Heat E of Series 4. Last time out it was wall-to-wall action as our seeds 23 Red and Crossbow did just enough to break through into the bracket. This week it's our Series 1 champions Panic Attack's time to shine once more in the arena after a dominant run in the heats last year was stopped short by the eventual third place finishers Petunia. They will line up tonight as the 9th seed alongside the 16th seeds Welder returning to the war zone after deep runs in the last two internationals. Let's see who else will join them tonight.
First, from Cumberan and seeded number 9, Panic Attack.
The First Wars champs had a major rebuild in the off-season, which hampered them at the specials, but they look to have solved those issues in time for tonight.
From Nuri and Northern Ireland and seeded number 16, Welder.
The veterans come into this series fresh off of their best year yet, and with a top 8 in the internationals this year, they still look strong.
From Southampton, Thumper.
The live scene machine makes their main series debut tonight, knowing how not to open the pit after their unfortunate rookie's error. That drum in particular looks very promising.
From Hereford, Nova.
Another making their debut tonight, Nova aims to emulate veterans Brick and Brother with their solid frame and wider flipper.
From Seoul in South Korea, Orbee Blade.
The second yellow peril tonight, Orbee is gunning for being the best horizontal on the block with that bar almost acting as camouflage on the arena floor. We'll kick off the action tonight with the Welsh wonder Panic Attack against the new boys Nova.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Oh, very quick start there from both machines meeting in the centre of the arena. Nova getting a side-on assault onto Panic Attack there, but weren't able to capitalise on it. Nova, of course, this is their debut in the main competition. They fought earlier on this year in the Rookies Cup, but they lost in round 1 to Quantum, if I remember correctly. Panic Attack, meanwhile, they haven't had the most successful of years this year either. They lost in round 1 of the International Special. They did come 4th in the All-Stars Championship, though, and they are now underneath Nova and lifting them into the air. Panic Attack seeded 9th for this heat, quite a low seeding for them. They only made it to the round of 16 last time around. I say only made it to the round of 16. They usually make it a lot further than that, hence why I said only. Panic Attack. Certainly the more control of these two robots early on. They're both about the same speed, I would say. Nova might be a little bit quicker, not too sure. Panic Attack so far has had the more effective weapon. Those lifting forks are so deadly and so good at getting under robots, lifting them off the floor and then controlling them around the arena like that. Look, getting underneath Nova, pinning them against the arena sidewall and getting those lifting forks underneath. They just managed to snag a hold of them, and now they can take Nova wherever they want to. Into the screws, maybe? Looks like it, yes. They are spinning, they are churning, they're hoping to do damage and get Nova snagged. Not too sure if it's going to be very effective. Can Panic Attack let go of Nova now? If they are stuck together, an unstick will be called for, but no. They are okay. Nova went for the pit release button there, but then thought twice about it and backed away. Panic Attack hits the pit button and succeeds in getting it down on the second attempt. Nova trying to get that lifter under. You haven't really seen much of that flipper at all in Rookies and in this championship so far. They've got a side-on attack here. There are plenty of chances, but I don't think they've got enough power in it to lift the former reigning champions up. Panic Attack, one of the most successful robots in LEGO Wars history, don't forget. Former champions, former All-Star champions, a machine that almost always made it to the top 4 until last year. Good attack there once again by Panic Attack. Nova pinned in against the arena sidewall, plucked up into the air. And once again, there is nothing the new team can do here other than just wait and hope Panic Attack is gentle with them. But it's not going to happen here.
6.
Down the pit they go. And that was an impressive win for Panic Attack. Nova just could not capitalise on any of the attempts they managed to get underneath Panic Attack there. And that is a shame. Panic Attack, better driven, more controlled, more aggressive, and by far the better weapon as well. They managed to get Nova into the screws a couple of times. They got underneath them a couple of times, controlled them all around the arena. Nova's flipper failed to flip them there, and that was the opening Panic Attack needed to get underneath them, carry them around, and eventually dump them down the abyss.
The Series 1 champs look to be back at full strength tonight as they dump Nova down the pit for the full 3 points. Let's see if Welder can make it a perfect start for the seeds against Thumper.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Welder will start as the favourites here. That was a very quick, very strong start from the number 16 seeds. Very good veterans of LEGO Wars. Last year they made it to the round of 16. Oh, goodness me, but here, Thumper causing horrendous damage to the front wedge already of Welder M. Thumper, of course, a newcomer to LEGO Wars. They competed in the Rookies Cup earlier this year, lost to Smoo in round 1 though. Very unfortunate loss for them. This is a great battle so far, isn't it? It's fast-paced and frantic. Two quick machines with deadly spinners. In high-octane, fast-paced action. Thumper seems to be a little bit too quick and nippy for its own good, though. Lacking control early on in the stages of this battle. Now what are they going to try and do? Bring in that drum once again. Good push there, though, by Welder M. Certainly favoured to do well in this heat. They've hit the pit release button and then do it straight in. What on earth was that about, Thumper? A little bit lucky, but they get 3 points. Well, it was a quick battle, sure, but it was a fun, frantic, fast-paced one at that. Two very impressive machines putting on an excellent display there. Thumper's drum spinner certainly the more damaging weapon throughout, but Welder M the more controlled and more aggressive throughout the battle, I personally felt, just until, of course, they decided to throw themselves down the pit. Right here, look, what on earth were they doing? That was terrible driving. Thumper, you know, could be one to watch out for in this heat.
Thumper finally shows off what it does on the live scene as it bullies the 16th seeds to join Panic at the top. The 9th seeds can double up their points if they beat their fellow Yellow Peril tonight, Orbee Blade.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Talk about Yellow Peril, Panic Attack versus Orbee Blade. A little bit of a nudge there from Panic Attack, just sort of feeling their opponent out, I think. That front spinner on Orbee Blade is very, very scary. The South Korean machine, it is a welcome addition into LEGO Wars. They made it to the round of 16, or the second round of the International Championships earlier this year, which is 1 round higher than Panic Attack got, actually. Panic Attack, though, has bags of experience, as said, seeded 9th, and there's a reason for that, as they drive in behind Orbee Blade, attempting to get those forks underneath, so they obviously see the rear of Orbee Blade as the weakness. And being honest, I think everyone else does as well. To be honest, he's got a high ground clearance at the back, and of course, if Panic Attack stays around the back, that means Orbee can't get that deadly bar spinner into play. I'm looking forward to seeing that spinner actually in Orbees. They didn't perform as well in the International Championships as we thought they might do. Lost a very, very close judge's decision to Bricker Brothers. Some people felt that Orbee was a little bit screwed over in that fight, actually a little bit cheated, and that Orbee should indeed have won. They're getting some good hits in on Panic Attack in this battle, but Panic Attack, very sturdy machine, is able to withstand the big hits. The only hits it can't withstand are from its real-life counterpart. Those who know will know. There we go. Orbee Blade has managed to knock something off of Panic Attack, and that front panel on Panic Attack does look a little bit wonky, doesn't it? Panic Attack, for me, up until this point was on top, but all of a sudden, Orbee Blade slowly but surely wearing them down with that frightening spinner, and the top panels come loose. How on earth did Orbee Blade get that, I wonder? They must have travelled up the side wedges of Panic Attack and nicked it off that way. More bits and pieces coming off of Panic Attack as well. And as this battle goes on, Orbee Blade gets stronger and stronger, and Panic Attack gets weaker and weaker. Panic Attack desperate to get the pit down. They really want to get Orbee down that pit, but unfortunately the pit release button isn't working. Now finally it has worked. Took a while to get there. Good drive there by Panic Attack. Good aggression. Good control. Slamming Orbee into the corner. Getting that spinner stopped. And now trying to get underneath them and push them towards the pit. This is a terrific battle here between two very good machines. Very different machines. The only similarity really is the colour. Other than that, complete opposites. One's a destructive machine, one's more of a controlled machine, a more tactical fighter. Terrific battle so far between these two. Another huge hit there from Orbee, but Panic Attack coming back strongly by pushing him into the sidewall, getting that spinner stopped and getting underneath and lifting him into the air. This is a really good fight here and very, very close. It could well go to the judges. Terrific stuff here in Heat F of LEGO Wars. We're into the final 10 seconds. So unless something meaningful happens here, it is going to go to the judges. And I tell you what, it's going to be close. What a fight that was. Two terrific machines brawling to the very end. Panic Attack certainly started the stronger of the two. Yes, it took a little hit there, but other than that, it was all Panic Attack for the first half of this battle, if you ask me. But Orbee Blade eventually started getting hit after hit in and was able to wear Panic Attack down towards the end, causing serious damage to its armour. Panic Attack did continue going though and even got several good lifts in towards the end as well as some good aggression points. I honestly don't know what way this is going to go. Super battle and very, very close.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Orbee Blade. A fantastic fight from our yellows as Orbee just claims the victory on their main series debut. The two rookie machines are up next with Nova and Thumper.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Should be an interesting battle here. Two newcomers to LEGO Wars. We saw them lose early in the Rookies Championships earlier this year, so it'll be nice to see how well they do against each other here in this battle, in this heat, the main competition. Nova starting the strongest. Managed to get a few little lifts in there on Thumper. No real major flips though, and that was a good drive there by Thumper, getting underneath the flipper of Nova and bringing that drum spinner in. I don't think much damage was done to the internals of Nova there, but Thumper's certainly the more aggressive as this battle starts off. It's definitely the quicker of the two as well. Not too sure how well controlled it is. Bits and pieces going flying all over the arena. Nova hitting the pit release button though and catching Thumper out. Oh, what a rotten end to a fight that started brilliantly. That's a shame. I was hoping for a good long fight between these two there. Nova started the strongest, certainly. Used good control to pin Thumper against the sidewall, but then Thumper, with that massive shot there, didn't really do too much damage, at least it didn't look like it, but then the pit button was pressed and Thumper got caught out. Well done, Nova.
Somehow Thumper does it again as they send themselves down the pit to give Nova 3 points. Orbee is back in the arena against Welder and will be out for their own KO to rectify a very bizarre looking standings.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Two brutal bar spinners here. Welder M would start as the favourites being seeded, but Orbee Blade did do well earlier against Panic Attack. It won by the judges, and that was a very good start once again there from Welder M. Charging straight at Orbee Blade, getting that wedge underneath it and pinning it against the sidewall, and again doing that. That seems to be the viable tactic at the moment. Now bringing that spinner in. No real damage is done there to Orbee Blade, I'm afraid to say. Can the South Koreans come back and make up for this early unfortunate start of theirs? Or will Welder M keep the pressure on, I wonder? They lost in the last fight they had against Thumper. Rather unluckily, they drove themselves into the pit after pressing the pit release button. They're going to hope to be a little bit more careful this time, or are they? Trying to go for the pit button. They seem to be a little bit afraid of hitting it now. The pit button has been pressed. Down it goes. Helped out a little bit there by Orbee Blade. Once again, Welder M is on the verge of the pit. And that is such a shame. They've once again gone down because they were by far on top. But Orbee Blade clench it. What a shame for Welder M. They certainly started the stronger there. Got underneath Orbee Blade straight away, pinning against him in the sidewall. Got a few hits in with their spinner as well, but they took a little bit too long going for the pit release button, and that allowed Orbee Blade to take advantage of that, shoving them into the pit button and then eventually down the pit. Orbee Blade get 3 points. Just.
Welder M looks in big trouble now as they stare at a nil score at half time. They will have time to get on the table, but first it's Panic Attack back in the arena against the energetic Thumper.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Looking forward to seeing Thumper in action again here. One of its front wedges comes off straight away though and goes actually into the weapon system of Panic Attack, so it went flying there as well. That drum spinner on Thumper, is very effective and very scary. If they could learn how to control their drive a little bit better, they may actually be in with a shot of scoring some serious points. Panic Attack, meanwhile, a more controlled machine definitely and a more tactical fighter. Usually that does prove to be more effective than a very powerful weapon in the rules of robot combat, although earlier on it did let them down against Orbee Blade. They lost a very close judge's decision. You can see they're just trying to catch up with Thumper. Thumper's very, very quick, very nippy, one of the lighter robots of this series of LEGO Wars. They've managed to do that, by having less motors on the inside and only having one battery pack. And that's why they managed to achieve such quick speeds. Problem is, it's all well and good being quick, but if you can't control it, you are in trouble. And Panic Attack have managed to find a weak area on Thumper and have pinned them against the arena's side wall. Didn't manage to flick them over on that attempt, although Thumper seems to be having some kind of issues here. It's not moving. Is it dead? They've been rammed into the side wall. They've got 8 seconds to get moving again. The drum has also stopped moving now. And it's only a matter of seconds until Panic Attack secures itself 3 more points
6.
on its campaign for this heat. Panic Attack now plucking Thumper in the air. Not really able to capitalise on it, but they get the win. Was it an electrical problem for Thumper? Not too sure. They bounced themselves around the arena and slammed themselves into things so much. I think they might have accidentally knocked something loose. Not really too sure, to be honest. Panic Attack, proving what I said earlier, though. Slow and steady and control does indeed sometimes win the race. They were able to outmaneuver Thumper, bashed him into the sidewall, and I think that there was what did the damage. After that, Thumper couldn't move, and they were counted out, and Panic Attack get themselves another KO victory.
A KO for Panic, and it's not via the pit? Wonders will never cease as they effectively wrap up their spot in the bracket. Now it's make or break time for the 16th seeds against Nova.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Nova versus Welder M. Welder M currently have yet to win a fight. A surprise for the number 16 seeds to have no points at this stage of their heat. Nova, meanwhile, I think came flying off there. I think that was the top panel of Welder M. I think the front wedges come off as well. Nova, meanwhile, getting a little flick in there, but wasn't able to flip the number 16 seeds over on that attempt. Can they get round the back and maybe get a better flick in? The problem is where the back is, where that very frightening spinner of Welder's is. Nova using its flipper there, almost like a clamping device. Maybe trying to become a control bot halfway through this heat. See if that gets them any more luck. They've got 1 victory so far in this heat against Thumper earlier on. They have managed to secure themselves 3 points because of that. Welder M driving into the sidewall. Not the most controlled of machines, is it? Let's be real here. I don't think many of the machines are in this heat, to be honest, other than Panic Attack. Nova, for me, though, currently on top of this one. They've controlled this fight. They've had the more effective weapon thus far. Been the more aggressive. Welder M, it doesn't seem to be working as well as it usually does. I'm wondering if they've got some electrical problems out there. Look, little flick there from Nova, though. Nearly had Welder M up and over, but Welder M falling back onto its wheels. Now bringing that spinner in, trying to do what Thumper did earlier, I think. Down goes the pit, courtesy of Welder M being pushed into the pit release button by Nova. Nova once again getting underneath it now. Welder M slamming in now to the vulnerable section underneath Nova's flipper. After Nova left the lifter up a little bit too long. And now pushing Nova back. They're going to try and get that spinner in and cause damage underneath that flipper now. Or do they need to? What's happening to Nova? It's completely died. What on earth happened there? They've just completely stopped. Even the flipper's dead. They got 5 seconds to move. What's happened? Nova absolutely bossed that fight.
6.
But lose it, and Welder finally get 3 points. Another random breakdown in a heat full of random breakdowns there. Nova did all the work for me. They used their flipper to good effect, got several good lifts in. They even used it as a clamping device through part of the fight. Welder M suffered more damage, was poorly controlled throughout, not very aggressive either. All Nova had to do was survive to the judges, but I think it was around about here, or maybe there, where Welder managed to somehow KO Nova. I honestly have no idea what happened.
Turning off a robot in LEGO Wars is a rare but skillful sight, so to see it happen twice now in the same heat is truly astounding. Welder M gets the 3 points as the bottom of the table now looks like a relegation battle as we move on to our next fight between the Spinners, Orbee, Blade and Thumper.
Robot ears, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
At this stage of the heat, Orbee Blade will be very happy with themselves. They've managed to secure themselves easy enough points to make the bracket at this stage, I would say. Thumper, meanwhile, will be a little bit disappointed. They need more points. They've only got 3. And even if they do get another 3 points here, I don't know if it will be enough to secure themselves a place. Oh my goodness me! In the bracket, but look at the damage they caused to Orbee Blade. That spinner, on Thumper is so effective. It's so dangerous and so powerful. Look at that, they've completely shelled Orbee. Bits and pieces flying everywhere here from both robots. Orbee's done some damage to Thumper as well, but the main damage there, look at that, is Orbee, its entire bodywork splattered by the drum spinner of Thumper. They've got such a great weapon, but they've got no way of controlling it. They're bouncing and bashing against all the side walls, look. They're just driving around aimlessly. And that has been what has let them down so much in this heat, and it's such a shame. if they could get the robot under a bit more control, it could be a serious competitor in LEGO Wars, but off comes the wheel! And any hope now of Thumper managing to get another 3 points have surely gone down the drain. Oh, what a shame. It's such an entertaining, such a fun robot. And a good little rookie, but unfortunately for them, it's going to end here, I think, now. Orbee Blade hitting the pit release button, and down go Thumper, having been on there when it went down. That was a terrific battle. Great stuff. But Orbee get yet another 3 points. What a shame for Thumper. They were by far on top in that fight, if you ask me. They had an extremely damaging weapon. They caused all sorts of carnage there to Orbee Blade, and for the first time in this heat, Orbee Blade were in serious trouble against one of their competitors. But a really well-timed precision shot there on the wheel was all it took for Orbee Blade to secure themselves another 3-point victory against Thumper. What a shame. Thumper out, and Orbee get another 3 points.
Another outstanding battle tonight as Orbee survives Thumper's onslaught to dump them down the pit and out of the competition. The Korean bot can take overall victory tonight if they beat Nova, while the Flipper needs points to have any hope of holding on.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
At this stage of the heat, we already know Orbee Blade has scored enough points to get into the top 32 bracket, and a staggeringly good amount of points as well. They should get a really good seeding in that part of the series. Nova, meanwhile, currently only has 3 points. They are desperate to get some more points here. They need those points in order to definitely secure themselves a redemption fight for later on in this tournament. If they can succeed in that redemption fight, they too will make it to the bracket. They'll be one of the lower seeds of the bracket, but they'll at least be there. Nova backing towards the pit now, attempting to do so. Even if they lose via a judge's decision, I think they have a chance at redemption. Not too sure on that one, though. We'll have to see what the judges say afterwards. Orbee, but that was terrible driving there, driving straight into the side wall, and Nova were foolish not really to capitalise on it there. Both of them are sort of just feeling each other out here. We haven't really seen them do much to each other. That was a better attack there from Nova, prying away one of those panels and getting a good lift in on Orbee Blade. Trying to do so once again, but managing to miss on that occasion. Orbee Blade, meanwhile, will be looking to bring that spinner into play and do some serious damage to Nova. Although Nova is very sturdily built, isn't it? It's taken several big hits so far and hasn't really taken any damage. And have got another good lift in there on Orbee Blade. They've also managed to pry another side panel up, so that means Orbee Blade has got a higher ground clearance now than it did when it went into this battle. Good tactic there by Nova. Nova hasn't exactly been a supernova in this series thus far, but with tactical play like that, they could potentially cause an upset here. What a hit there, though, there by Orbee Blade. That was fantastic. Huge shot there. Sent Nova flying around there. Nova now going for the pit button. Is it me, or is Nova moving a lot slower than it did earlier? Terrible driving once again by Orbee Blade sends them into the side wall, but Nova are right on the verge of the pit. That back panel is now loose, and a well-timed shot on that back panel could see it completely dislocated from the robot. Nova trying desperately to avoid the pit here and doing a very good job. It's a very well-controlled machine. The problem is it's not as quick as it was earlier on. I think they're taking some serious damage. I think that initial huge hit from Orbee Blade must have knocked something loose, and now bits and pieces of the armor are slowly but surely being weakened. There's a split in the front side wedge. There's a split, I think, in the flipper. Yes, you just saw it there, look. The back panels come loose. And Orbee Blade, whilst this isn't the most destructive they've been, they are certainly on top in my opinion. Good little flick there once again from Nova. But is it enough to get the judges' nod, if it even goes to the judges? Nova have done a good job surviving. It is going to go to the judges, yes. Terrific battle, very, very close. A lot closer than I think a lot of people gave it credit for. Nova with one more huge hit there from Orbee Blade. It's gone to the judges. I think I know who's won, but we'll see what they say. Nova certainly started the stronger in that battle for definite. They got not one, not two, but three very good lifts in on Orbee Blade, but unfortunately they weren't able to fully flip Orbee Blade. And after a very well-timed precision hit just here from Orbee Blade, the tables soon turned. bits of armour were loosened, and whilst no serious damage was done to Nova, enough was done to the internals, and the outside of the machine certainly looked a lot more poorly than when it started, that's for sure.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Orbee Blade. And so it's Orbee who will take top spot tonight on 10 points, but Nova braving it out gives them the edge over Welder M heading into a final fight. These two fought last year in the heats when the Northern Irish machine pushed Panic Attack to a close decision, and if they want to make the bracket this year, they just need points over the Series 1 champs, so let's see if they have enough left in the tank.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
So it's time for our final battle of the episode. The seeds indeed clash. Bits and pieces go flying everywhere. I think once again those were from Welder M. Welder M do need a win here. Even if they get just 1 point, they will be up for redemption, or at least a chance of redemption. If they lose though, they will be out early, and that's a surprise considering there are 16 seeds. Panic Attack seed number 9, don't forget. They've done a reasonably successful heat so far. They've done enough to get into the bracket that they won't be seeded as highly as Orbee Blade, which again is a surprise. I guess it's a sign showing how much the show is changing and how much the robots are advancing over the years. Panic Attack being pushed now by Welder M, managing to get away from that wedge. Can Welder M's spinner do any damage to Panic Attack? It's not been the most deadliest spinners in this heat. We've certainly seen it deadlier in previous tournaments of Lego Wars. Welder M going for the pit and releasing it. Can they get round the side of Panic Attack and get it down? I'm not too sure. Panic Attack is a very well-driven machine. It's very hard to get a hold of, and they managed to get underneath Welder M. But Welder M using good driving then to get away and underneath and pushing Panic Attack towards the screws. Could we still see a surprise here? Panic Attack, they're being dragged away. Welder M desperately trying to get them towards the pit. I don't think they can quite control them to do so. Now going backwards again, but again they can't quite turn around enough to get them down, and Panic Attack managing to get themselves off of that predicament and now getting underneath Welder M. They've managed to break the front wedge yet again. Welder M is once again wedgeless. Panic Attack knew that wedge was going to be a very, very dangerous part of Welder M for them, and they decided to break it off there and then to lower any chances of getting underneath them again. Welder M once again trying to push back now. Good battle this, isn't it, between the two seeded machines? Very close, very, very even so far. Welder M going all over the place. It's not been the most controlled robots of this series, and against Panic Attack, that's not what you want! Down the pit they go, and Panic Attack get another 3 points, and that's it for Welder M. Well, that's a disappointment for Welder M. Only 3 points by the end of it. They are out of the competition for good now. Panic Attack were in trouble for part of that battle. Yes, they used good control early on, but Welder M was able to outdrive them and even get underneath them at one point. I thought Panic Attack were done for here, but they couldn't quite capitalize on it. That meant that Panic Attack could come back, break that front wedge, and then use better driving to pit Welder M. Panic Attack finishing on a high note, and they make it to the bracket.
The 16th seed has fallen after a brave but ultimately fruitless performance to close out the heat. It's been a fantastic night in the arena as Orbee made 2 claims for fight of the series with their tussles with Thumper and Panic as they progress with the latter into the bracket, while Nova escapes the drop and will await their fate in the play-ins. That's all from us tonight, but join us next time when the 11th seeds Chompy return for more grabbing fun alongside the 14th seeds P1. For now, I've been your host, David and Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
If you could turn off the weapon, that'd be lovely. Reverse into it, that's it. Not that bit. There you go. Wow.
Amazing.